Yeah.
Yeah, in my head, this movie kind of has like that graded sort of 60s, 70s feel, like of a TV show, movies from that era or whatever. And it's kind of maybe slightly tongue-in-cheek, and it has these kind of characters coming together and sort of weird, sort of whimsical things happen, but at the heart of it, there's a kind of actually very truthful storyline of people wanting to just kind of find love for each other. And I hope it kind of has a sort of light touch, like kind of a light narrative feel, but also kind of leaving you with with some feeling that you didn't realize you'd had when you watched the movie. I don't know. The movie has a 60s vibe for me because kind of all the places we go to, like we go to diners and we're just hanging out, and the sets and they're kind of quite kitsch, and my flat is very kitsch, and it has like a real nice attention to detail, which definitely reminds me of the 60s, and Emily's hair in her like bob and fringe. I'll be honest, I'm pretty similar to James. When I was kind of trying to do like prep or researchy stuff, I really did just think about myself kind of a couple of years ago, especially when I was really not confident with anything. James works as a lifeguard and is reading a book while he works, and that was always me reading a book whilst I was either at work at a shop or in a bar. I'd always be reading a book, or even at school. I never learned anything, but I kind of did, but I just read books all the time. So yeah, I kind of took a lot from previous experience. I think he falls, head over heels in love with Eve, and and he's kind of like the girl that he's never going to have, just because it's just not going to happen, circumstantial, or the time when they could have got together passed so quickly, but that's kind of like almost, I think, for James, the perfect relationship, being in love with this girl that he can't actually have, because then you're constantly in the state of, kind of suffering, and I think some people thrive a little bit on suffering a little bit and kind of writing poems about their pain, and I think to a certain extent James kind of has that. Definitely he's a self-sabotager, which I think a lot of people are guilty of. Like, I do that too, but like there's points in the story where I'm just like, James, just do it, just get over yourself, but then I do empathize with the way. There's a very blurred line between James and Stuart. I almost feel like I can't really deal with the mantle of representing Stuart, because it's kind of intense, but yeah, I think they've got a lot of similarities. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's always fun to have, to say things that are so opinionated, and I get a lot of those kind of comments like, David Bowie is ridiculous, only young girls like David Bowie, or I make stupid comments about kind of how pop music has been, it's wasted since 1969, and I just have these kind of great sort of little sayings, and I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but it's totally fun to play someone that has that kind of strong opinions on stuff. The day we did Have to Dance with Cassie was so cool. That was the first time when I really realized we were making a musical. It was just so overwhelming, the big dance scene and dancing, and then other people coming and dancing, and then other people coming and dancing, this big set piece, and then Hannah being lifted up. It was amazing, and I was at the back just watching it, playing the keyboard. It was just, I couldn't really process and I literally did have the sensation, I was like, I think dancing and singing in films is the best thing ever on screen. I think when I met him, because he was so relaxed, I wondered how kind of like assertive he would be on set. But and also first-time directors, I think, not that I have that much experience, but other first-time directors I've worked with tend to be quite reticent, or they're not quite they don't know exactly what they want. But Stuart always seems to know what he wants and like won't stop until he gets it. So yeah. None of them have been quite as kind of the perfect package as Eve, because even though she's kind of crazy at the beginning of the film, she then kind of like butterfly-like becomes this amazing sort of singer, presence person, magical thing. But I've definitely known people who kind of were sort of suffocated by their own kind of creativity or something, I guess, and they didn't know what they wanted to do, and they were like crazy beautiful girls, and everyone was obsessed with them, and yeah.